Okay, friends, so we'll continue from where we had left yesterday. But before we proceed, we will have a quick recap of what we had learned yesterday. So we started with the new chapter, which is nothing but a digital audit and identifying the risk. So the concept one was your digital audit. So when somebody talks about digital audit, okay, very first question comes because somebody may be very new for this terminology. They may ask you what it is. So you can say that it is embracing of technology by client and auditors reliance on that. So since the client go for tally, you don't have any choice. So initial days you may ask, okay, give me the printout, but after some time you realize, okay, asking printout of these books and all makes no sense. Give me the printout of trial balance. What is this? Where? Who is asking today's day? Which auditor will ask? So client has embraced and we will also adopt to that environment. So second one question comes, what are the features of this? Okay, what are all the features? So we can say that it is going to improve help the adopt new technology, emerging technology, helps to improve the features. Helps to improve the audit quality. Then we can say something like it will help to standardize the process because IT saves time. Okay, next question comes, what are the advantages? Okay, so chalo, if the client goes for this, what is the advantage? Same features only we can talk, like enhanced efficiency, better quality, lower cost, better improved risk assessment. By whom? Both by the auditor also, by the management also. Now, advantages won't come simply. It will have some challenges. Okay, the challenges includes your people change. You have to figure out what benefit. Simply you are investing money. Okay, you have put 1.5 lakhs on Apple mobile. What benefit did you get? So first you should try to figure out the benefit, have a broader strategy. Okay, so now if you are planning for something like, okay, to show off that, okay, you have got Apple iPhone with 1.5 lakhs and all, you want to show that logo and your business is doing well, then that is a part of the strategy. Or simply you're buying something because your friends have purchased and it looks good, that is not a strategy. Okay, so I hope it's clear. So this is like what should be the focus area. The next question comes, chalo, you understood what is the feature of digital audit, what is the advantages, what is the challenges. Now what should be focus of the auditor? Okay, focus is new activities you need to check. Okay, so you need to see how systems are developed and maintained, is there any new risk, that's it. So this is all about the concept of a digital audit. So if the client has got digital audit, then it's another aspect which is connected to it is auditing digitally. You are used to reading soft copy, then why let me not give the soft copy? See, that from my side, I develop the soft copy. Similarly, when the client has gone for digital, instead of you go and do the manual audit, why don't, when they are using bot, why don't you use your bot so that both the bots will talk to each other? That's all about your auditing digitally. Again, one question comes, what do you mean by this? Yes, we said that it is embracing of the technology by the auditor. Now, what all the expectations from an auditor? So if the auditor is going to use, what you expect from them? Yes, first if you don't have skill, please involve expert or increase the skill level of the people. You automate the existing processes, bring data tools and evolve your scope. Scope will change now because the moment you start using tool, previously you used to give reasonable assurance, okay, high level of reasonable assurance, maybe something extra the management expects from you now because you have got a lot of time. Now, what is your advantages or features? Because they said together, same. It will improve the quality, reduce the cost, increase the transparency, improve the efficiency, and better risk assessment, which is very similar to this. And then, what should be your considerations? Okay, so this is more like a focus. You should see, just like, okay, I can say challenges. The way they have considered, like what process I should automate. Here also you should ask what process I should automate. How should upskill your people? What all the range of automated solutions available and which one should I choose? Okay, so when we came to the range of automated solution, very important, please mark it, very important. Range of, they have not asked this question, automated solution. We discussed one is called a macro. See, macro, I think in Excel you must have seen, okay, how a macro is going to work. Let me just see if I can show that to you. Okay, are you able to see the Excel file, Excel sheet, students? Are you able to see one Excel file? Excel is available, right? Okay. Now, let me just show you that 4 examples of what they are trying to tell so that you also very clear. See, macro is something like this. So if I have to write anything like, okay, every day I'm doing the same task, like I'm writing serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, and the amount. Okay, so some 4 numbers of amounts I'm going to write. Okay, so if I have to highlight, say for example, I'm doing bold every time I'm putting one square area like this, like this. So how I can do this task automatically instead of doing so many steps? Okay, say entering serial number and all. Say for example, I have got a column called amount. Amount is there. Okay, now I can go to the developer called a macro. Say macro is running. What macro will do now? So now I'll put a serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will select all. I will put and I will save it. Put a highlight bold. Okay, then I can go to the developer, stop recording. See, now I got a macro. See, this is called a macro 1. Now next time, suppose for example next month, my amounts will change. So instead of doing all this activity, I just can go here and say run a macro. For the same number, every format happened with one click of a button. Now, what is script now? If I click on Visual Basic, do you see here? I recorded, right? This task I recorded, no? So this is called a macro 1, right? Can you see here macro 1? So macro 1, what I did, when I recorded it, this is called a graphical user interface. But behind every graphical user interface, there should be a command. Now, if I go to Visual Basic, see, this is that command. This is the name of that macro 1, macro 1. See what you said to do. You said to do the border, you said to do highlight. This is called script. I hope you are clear. This is a script. Now, problem with this macro is it will work within the application only. It cannot open Word file. Chalo, let me close this. I hope you are clear about this. What is macro? Macro is also called script. Script is nothing but that lines which I just showed you. Then the business process automation, which I already explained to, okay, how a business process automation is going to work, like workflows. Like you are uploading the test papers, I am receiving it, I got a mail, okay, somebody has uploaded the test papers. So this is the workflow. Otherwise, you should have couriered it. You should have physically handed over to me. Human hands would have been involved to deliver that to me. But today, there is no human hands. System only is going to do it. Next is your RPA. Okay, RPA is nothing but a robotic process. Which robot? There are 2 types of robot. Okay, one is called a robot. You see, today morning I was walking, I was just checking, I was seeing one truck. You see, truck also is like a robot, no? See, it has got 2 eyes and tire. It looks like a robot only for me. Everything is a robot now. Now fan is a robot, AC is a robot. Who designs it? Engineers design it. So this is none of our business. We are talking about something called a bot or RPA. Now, this RPA or a bot is a set of instruction for information processing, because we are the auditors. Macro and RPA are one and the same. Actually, macro is one of the RPA only, but a macro will work within application. So, how a RPA or a bot will look like? Okay, so I can show you something like Power Automate. This is like a Power Automate. This is one of the macro. This is like a RPA. Now, what RPA can do? It can just open any Excel file. It can go to the website. Just see here once. So you understand what you are reading then. So I can just go and create. Okay. So it's a new one macro I will create. It is not a macro. One robot I will create. Okay. So I can say here, go to Edge. Okay. And open https icai.org. Save. Then I will say launch Excel. See, one is web, another is Excel, and I say open. Let me open any file from the desktop. Save. Now when I run it, you see here what's going to happen. See, there are two distinct activities. One, ICA websites gets opened, and then see, Excel file got opened. I didn't do anything. I just gave an instruction. Just open this. So this is called RPA because this has got two elements in it. It will not only work. So I can bring something else also. I can say open tally, run application. Then I will bring this run application. Then I can bring run Word, open PDF. So different things it can do. So this is called RPA. Are you clear, students? Is that fine? Hope it's clear. And intelligent process is just running now. It's just happening right now. Okay. So I have an example, but it is too time consuming, but not required. So this is what we have learned. Then we spoke about the concept number 2. What is your concept number 2? Your understand the environment. The first question comes, what you need to understand, what it includes. Okay. It includes your applications, infrastructure, people, means organization structure, process, procedures, policies, risks and controls. Okay, what should be your key focus areas? So key focus area should be flow of transactions, which applications are used here, are you using emerging technologies? Okay, so now visit a manual control or IT based control, and what is the complexity? This is what you need to understand. Yes, with this we are done. So today we will proceed further. Once you have understood an IT environment, you are very clear what you need to know in that environment. See, the next task is to identify the risks. Now, identify the risks arising from the use of IT. Okay, so start scribbling now. Now, how to identify the IT risk? In identifying the risk from the use of IT, you need to consider the nature of the IT application. Application, see, what is an application? Application is nothing but a software, because everything happens with the softwares only. You see in and around you, everything there is a software. The softwares are of two types. One is called application software, another is called system software, operating systems. We call it an operating system. Operating system I can tell more like our soul. That means without operating system, Windows, your system itself will not boot. So operating system is required, but with the operating systems you cannot solve the problem. Just because you have got a soul, you are alive, that does not mean you will be able to solve the problems. You need certain skills. So individual skills are like apps. The more skills you learn, you have got more apps in you. Similarly, organization apps will solve one particular problem. System software is not going to solve any problem. It will just bring life to the computer. So if you want to talk about the risk, who will bring risk to you? Tell me, students. Will your soul bring risk or your skills will bring the risk? Soul will never bring the risk to you, because soul is dormant there. It is sitting silently. It will not do anything. Your skills will give you exposures. So when you talk about identifying the IT risk, we need not go beyond the operating software and all. Hardware is just a body for us. Like we have got a body, no? Just like hardware. What hardware can do? Everything starts with that thought skills, your thought process. So if you are to talk about the risk, first let us go to the IT application. I hope you are very clear now. So who is my IT application? SAP, Tally, your this biometric application. See, these are all filled. See, if you have to talk from your mobile perspective, mobile has got Android, and you have installed so many apps there: Instagram, Facebook, your banking app. You tell me, will your Android will create a problem to you, or apps will create a problem? Apps, no, because when somebody sends you download this app, they are asking you to download an app there. So risk is created by an application, not by your operating system. So the nature of IT application means what business process, data analytics, where it is going to live now, where is this application, how it is going to interact with the users. Is this app you have stored here, or it is located somewhere far away? What is the logic? Who can touch that? So the applicable risk arising from the IT may also be related to cyber security now. So since we are talking about the digital, cyber security is more like a digital security, because your information is in the form of a data now, 0 and 1. Now, what is cyber security? We will talk about it. So when we talk about a digital information, there are three elements you need to understand: confidentiality, integrity, availability. So you are trying to protect these three things, and that is called a cyber security. Anyhow, they have not discussed in detail about CIA rules. Just for your information, it is more likely that the more that there will be more risks when the volume on complexity of automated application controls is higher, and management is placing greater reliance on those controls for effective processing of transaction. Now you tell me, students, you once upon a time you didn't take your mobile phone, it didn't make much difference in your life because you had a Nokia, that button phone. You tell me what difference it made in your life? No, because everything we are handling by the cash. Today you don't take your Android mobile phone, don't you feel like you are missing? You feel like stuck. Why? Because there's an immense reliance on this mobile. If you don't have mobile, you feel like you have lost something. Huh? You don't know, your every password is stored there, every access, anybody's number also you don't remember now. Everything is stored there only. Okay, every scanning, you don't have cash also in your hand. God knows who to ask the cash now. So this is the problem. Huh? This is what you need to evaluate, because more risks comes when repeatedly you are using mobile phone for everything, and higher the management reliance on it. So your banking transactions also you are using this. It will obviously comes, no, Baba, because you have connected your mobile phone to a bank. Now your all the transactions are happening through mobile phone. Now tell me, is it not a cyber security? Cyber attack can happen. Somebody can steal your confidential information. Somebody can steal your assets. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. Anyhow, just for your understanding, you need not because they may not ask you, but they will ask you this. Tell me, what are the different types of risks which use from the IT comes? This comes only from IT. If IT was not there, information technology was not there, this may not have been, this would be different. One, unauthorized access to the data. See, why okay, that may result, so someone can access your data, maybe accidentally also, which, and I told you, it is very easy to access data because you need not be personally present. See, previously your data was inside the cupboard in some register. So if I have to go and read what you have written, where is your bank balance, where is the gold, where is this thing, if I had to read that information, I had to personally present in your house and I have to open your locker. But today, since this information, all this, your balance sheet, P&L is sitting in your mobile phone, I can be sitting in North Korea. From North Korea, I can access, and tomorrow, max to max, what you will block me. That's it. You cannot arrest me. See, that's why unauthorized access to data can happen. And what it can happen? Destruction of data. Somebody may simply delete it. Gone. Improper changes can happen to the data. They can manipulate the data. Or non-existing transaction can occur, because of which inaccurate recording of the transaction can occur. And why this happens? Because multiple users are given access to the common database. See, since your entire data is in mobile phone, you are using your mobile, your kids is using mobile, you are given to your brother. Okay, multiple people are handling one mobile phone. See, inadvertently this kid can delete the data. No, you see how careful you must be to give your mobile phone to, because they don't know. One mail may come and they may simply click it. Similarly, how this risk happens in the organization level? A payroll clerk obtains the finance manager's password. You see, sitting far away, and he may change his own salary in the payroll system. And there is no trail only now. Everything happened in the ID of the payroll manager. Payroll manager trusted, and this is the case of a fraud now. So someone can do unauthorized access and change the data which was not proper. So payroll records becomes unauthorized transaction. So payroll, what it will do, it will record some unauthorized transaction. Are you clear? Then second element is the IT person can gain access privilege. Okay, gaining access privilege. I am the right example sitting in front of you students, because 5 years of my life I spent in IT department. I was a core team member, so I was called IT personnel. Now, in order to solve people's problem, I had to get the access, because I have to do the root cause analysis. Like when you go to the doctor, see, you need to permit the doctor to verify you, maybe say to touch you, to look into your eyes or whatever. If you don't permit the doctor, then how doctor will do analysis? So that was my problem, because if I was an IT doctor, so if someone facing problem, see, with their access, I cannot check it. So I was granted access to the systems more than what is necessary. That's why I was given a privileged access. This is called a privileged access, like privileged VIP entry, more given access beyond necessary. So now what happens, friends? See, if you look at my situation, I had maker rights also, I had checker rights also. That means I could have done one transaction end to end. I was a very dangerous person in my organization. Okay, I didn't do fraud. I knew how to do the fraud. I could see, because I have know my systems. I know what is going wrong. So only in chapter number 2, we learned that the fraud triangle came, because incentive is there always with every human being. Okay, but opportunity I didn't pursue, because I know if I do this, I may get caught. And more than importantly, no, this is wrong. Why I should do? I should earn and earn salary. Why I should get into it? But when the three things gets compromised, anybody can do fraud, because I know how it works, what it happens. Okay. So now IT personnel, a database administrator, you give access to the database administrator to maintain the database. You know what he did? He could modify the vendor master and process the payments. He himself did online payments to himself. He only edited the vendor data. He raised one request and he made the payment. Bank payment happens. So he can create a fake vendor. He can put his own bank account number. Okay, so ERP is connected to core banking. These type of issues are going to happen. Then unauthorized changes to IT application, that means programs. Somebody can change the programs. Like programmer can directly change the interest calculation of a program without approvals or without proper testing. Same happened to me also, students. Everything I experienced. We implemented something called supply chain management. We had tested it in development server. Actually, rule is we have to test in quality server and then we have to move to production server. So there are 3 servers: dev, quality, production. Development, no testing happens because no data, some manual data. In quality, we get live data and we test live data and then we move to the production. To my bad luck, to my oversight, or God knows what happened, when they moved something to the quality, I was supposed to test, but somehow I did not test and I approved to move it to production, and they moved to production, one development. Next day, okay, we had around 6,000 vendors. 6,000 emails went to all the vendors, and morning everybody shouting like, which mail, what is this mail went to all the vendors, all our vendors. Then I realized that we moved something without testing. The first blunder ever I did in IT department. Anyhow, to err is human. I learned from my mistake. I figured out like what went wrong and everything. But what I'm trying to tell you here, students, unauthorized changes can happen. Without testing, somebody could have moved something to the production. Interest calculation would have gone wrong. These things would not have been happening, no, if you are not into IT. Now, you might fail to make the updates. Like when the GST came, GST you didn't capture only. And after 10,000 transactions, you realize, so you never charge GST to the customer. Now, who has to bear this GST? Client has to bear. Inappropriate manual interventions can happen. Like ERP system automatically blocks the payment whose invoice exceeded the approved purchase order limit. Say you have given order for 10,000 rupees. Supplier will raise invoice for 12,000. Will your system process? No, there is one automatic block. It says, look, your order value is 10,000, you are raising invoice for 12,000. Now what I can do? Account executive can manually go and remove that block. No, he can ignore that error, right? So this is called inappropriate manual interventions can happen. So manually somebody can override the control. Data loss or data corruption can happen because see, loss of sensitive data. Hackers can take, see, please understand, student, when somebody is accessing your website, they give your, okay, we don't feel a mobile phone and all, but what about if you are given user ID, your banking passwords you have entered? Have you seen what type of SSL certificate it was there? Because we are doing QR code scanning. See, our data will go there, our UPI ID will go. Somebody can use this information. Somebody can hack this information. They can try to illegally break into your system. So this risk is also there with the use of IT. Risk of system downtime. Best example, yesterday morning, computer is not getting switched on only. Another day, your internet is not working. Hardware failures. Okay, see, if it was, we wish to have a physical face-to-face class. Yesterday morning, we would have done the class. Why we could not do the class? Because hardware failure. Then I have to get it corrected. See, this problem comes because we are digital today. And one more thing is the system integration and compatibility. Zoom app, okay, or best example, my Class Plus. Is it going to work on Apple mobile? No. Why? Compatibility issue. So these type of issues are going to come when we are going to have. So in case of system failure, however, okay, see, what is this system integration issue? System integration issue means if you have integrated so many systems, if one system fails, then widespread failure of all the integrated system is going to happen. See, my mobile, this is what they call mic is connected to this Zoom. If mic fails, see, I have to stop the class and the system fails, no? See, just because of mic. If my monitor fails, the entire system fails, no? So this is because everything is integrated now. So in ATM, core banking solution fails, every ATM closes. Or if the integration between system is not appropriate, end result will not be correct. Like redbus.com, makemytrip.com, everything you have connected with the ERP. Imagine students, two people booking the same ticket, two people booking the same room on the same day. Now, this is an integration issue. If you have not done the integration properly, this type of issues you are going to face everywhere. You book the railway ticket, two people book the same ticket and they got the same number. Impossible, right? Have ever you have come across such issues? Very, very, very rare, because IT is so reliable. It will goes through certain type of checks. That's why IT applications have made it possible today. Whatever word we are witnessing, students, thanks to IT applications and application designing, which is done by the computer science engineers. They have got their standards. Like we learn standards on auditing, they learn on standards on application designs. So whenever they design any application, see, we don't know how to design. We do it in a very crude manner, but they do it in a very structured manner. That's why we have to always involve IT specialists, because they know how that things works. So system compatibility means carrying compatible hardware. Compatibility risk arises because of the different versions also. And the last risk, last risk is your regulatory compliance issues. Okay, with the advancement of use of IT, yes, like system is not capturing the taxes, and your FMCG sector has got a different regulatory compliance with the finance company. Like Paytm is a fintech company, HUL, FMCG company. Now RBI may be monitoring this Paytm, what you are doing, because so many people's money you are handling. HUL, Hindustan Unilever, they may not manage. Their focus may be different. Okay, but they are using the client data, then data protection and in Privacy Act will become applicable. See, this is what you need to comply with the regulatory compliance issues. Okay, students, I hope you are very clear with what we discussed. Very important. How risk can arise. In 315 also we had the similar discussion, but we didn't add much explanations. We had one line there. So unauthorized access, 80% gaining privileged access, data loss, integration, compatibility, system downtime. Okay, so performance issues arises with the way requests are processed in the IT system, like heavy data load, network usage impacts, performance, its responsiveness. All these issues are going to come now. So to overcome the performance issues, there is one concept called scaling. Scaling means you add more. Like for example, that's why some student complained, like said that okay, there was a video lag was there. So immediately what I did, I asked all the students, okay, do you have a problem? Because I have to figure out whether the problem is at their end or my end. Now if it was at my end, if all the students are facing lagging issue, then today I have got 50 mbps bandwidth, then immediately I will shift myself to 100 mbps bandwidth. Why? This is called scaling. I have to scale up now. If I feel that RAM is not sufficient because the slowness is happening, instead of 3 MB RAM, I will go to 16 MB RAM, 16 GB RAM. So you can overcome this heavy data load performance issue with the scaling. However, scaling can be very expensive. Obviously, from 50 Mbps to 100 Mbps, when I go, I have to pay more money. Therefore, you have to make informed decision when you add a software or change the system's architecture. Perfect. Anyhow, what is important for you is this. You have to please mark it important. There is no questions on this. They can ask you questions on this. Okay. Now you have identified, you know now what type of risks will come. Now, you know how to identify IT dependencies impacting audit. Okay, what is IT dependency? That means your dependency on the application. So when I depend on an application, there's something called application controls will come into picture, which is going to impact, which is very important for the audit, because if applications has to work properly, application controls has to work. And in order to support that, you have got ITGC. Okay, I'll give you a small analogy and explanation, students. Please understand. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand the next para here. It looks very technical for you. Just try to understand here. I'll give an example to you. Focus on this example and try to figure out what I'm trying to tell. See, you have got a birthday party and your friends are asking for a party now. For this, you need 10,000 rupees. You don't have money in the pocket. So what you do, you have got an ATM card. So you go to an ATM machine, insert this ATM card and you put that, give me 10,000 rupees. You feed it. Yes, what comes out? One slip comes out and says insufficient balance. Now, you see students, inside this ATM machine, there is a cash. Now, when the cash comes into picture, risk is coming into picture. Whose risk it is? This is bank's risk, because someone can come and take this cash, maybe a customer or a non-customer. Now question comes, how bank will protect their cash? Because this is their cash, they have to protect themselves. Otherwise somebody can come and take this cash. Please always remember, students, any time when you see come across some machines, first thing, now, who stopped you from taking money? Cash was there. It was there in front of you only. But why you could not get money? Who stopped you from taking money? A software stopped you. We call them app. This ATM machine had an app, IT application, a software, which it was connected to the server, CBS. It verified there instantly, is this person having sufficient balance? Yes. Then you allow. No, don't allow. That means the engineer, when he wrote that software, climb, in-text, return back, some language he must have written, no, in some syntax. Okay, please enter, print, if error, return to this, some different type of language. This is called a computer language. C++, Java, HTML, Python, ABAP. So there are 700 computer languages like this in this world. So now, one line he must have written somewhere. If no sufficient balance, print slip. Do not dispose cash. See, what happens, students, when you went to withdraw the money, this one line in the software, it can be very big software having 1 lakh lines. So many permutation, combinations, so many types of situations. This one line stopped you from withdrawing the money. What if the person would have forgot to write this line? What if the software engineer would have forgot to write this line? Then, even though you don't have cash, you can withdraw any number of cash. So, please remember, students, the first person, I think I had given this example earlier also. Who is going to stop you? A software is going to stop you, which is app. Now, these are all app-based controls or application controls. There are few application controls which we are going to see now. Alright. If really you wanted cash, why you need to take card? Instead of could have taken one hammer, you could have taken one shovel. You can break, no. You can break this open and take how much cash you wanted. But is it possible? No, because this machine is not an ordinary machine. It's not one cardboard box there. So this machine was procured from very reputed organization. Then they have got operation related because they have put CCTV. There is one, this machine has been installed in a prime location. Then you have got one watchman there outside. Then they have got certain access related work. And nobody can change the programs and all here. See, they have put that protection. Otherwise, you could have called your uncle who is sitting in the office and say, pass one fake entry. Okay, credit your name and debit some clearing account. Automatically, balance will increase. So this will become useless now. So somebody could have put controls on the program change so that somebody should not change the program of this ATM machine or core banking solution. Because if an uncle has to pass the journal entry, there is a maker and checker. See, maker and checker at the bank level. So these are all called general IT controls. So primarily, when you use any control like biometric device, you enter into the room, you are using biometric. So we have got two types of control called application control. See, you have to register, and next time whenever you input your thumb, it will cross verify, is this authorized person? But what if I come through a window? What if I switch off the power? I will break open the door. That's why we need general IT controls or IT general controls. So general controls are surrounding these applications. So since you understood now, you have understood different types of applications being used, and by using IT applications, what all different types of risks can arise? Okay, we can call it as a different types of risks. Different types of risk. Different types of risks which can arise, like unauthorized access to the data can happen, changes can happen, update you may not do, system can fail, okay, regulatory compliance issues can come. These are all the different types of issues which can arise. Okay. Now to do this, you need to put certain controls called application controls and general and IT controls. So now they're asking, what are those controls? Read now. Now you will be able to understand it better. So IT dependency means dependency on application program. That means you are dependent on one program. You see how much program you are trusting that program. Is the bank manager standing there with the binocular? No, because they trust the program that if there is no sufficient balance, ATM will never dispense the cash. That's the confidence they have got. That's why we call it a dependency on application program. Followed, no? To function normally, if this program fails, then your all the operations will get impacted. So IT dependency means you are dependent on applications to run your organization. If that application fails, like for example, your phone pay is not opening only. You have stopped with the practice of taking cash. You ate food. Phone pay is not opening. You don't have any other application. QR scanners are not coming. See, you got stuck now. That's why you have something called application controls and IT general controls. So you always take some 500 rupees extra, no, somewhere you would have hidden it in case of emergency if this computer fails. They are called general IT controls. Now, why it is important to identify IT dependency? Because it will help you to know how the entity is relying upon IT, which is that critical thing you are relied upon. How it is integrated into the entity's business model. Business model means strategy to make the profits. Okay, are you heavily dependent on your website? See, for example, which entity? Amazon. See, we'll take two examples. One is Amazon, another is Vedanta. Both have got a website, Amazon.com, Vedanta.com. But you see, student, your Amazon as IT has integrated into their business model. The moment this website is down for 5 minutes, they must have incurred 50 crore loss. Vedanta's website may be down for 1 day, they may not incur any loss. So you see here dependency on the IT. This is website is an app, both are app. But how much you are dependent here? You see, this will help you to identify the risk now. So it will help you to identify the reliance upon IT, how it is integrated now, how this is integrated with these different systems. Here it is only an information website, but here it is an integrated website because it is integrated in the model. Potential risk so you can identify, and related IT general controls or general IT controls you can also see. Enables to develop the effective audit approach. So why it is important? So you can tell these are all the 5 reasons. It is important to identify the IT dependency. How much the organization is dependent on application programs. Why? Because I will come to know how it is integrated, what type of risk can come, what type of general IT control should be there. Okay, and how should I develop my audit approach? I can give one more example, students. See, car. You have got a car. Car has got a key. This is called app control, application control. It's a very uniquely designed for that car. Now, you have kept the key in the car only and you have kept the windows open. Now tell me, can anything happen? Yes, somebody can easily steal your car. So what you do? That's why you see, no, there is a door lock. You take the keys with you. See, these are all called general controls. If general controls work well, plus application controls work well, your car is safe. If anyone fails, like any key can fit into your car, then gone. Or you have got a unique key, but you have kept that key very there on the table only, or outside in the car only you have left. So if anyone fails, car is gone. So why you need to identify? Because of these reasons. Now, how the IT dependency will arise? IT dependency will be created when the IT is used to initiate. Initiate means what? To start, like website or whatever. Authorize, record, journal entry, process, ledger, report, balance sheet, the transactions and other data in the financial statement. So who is initiating? Previously the accountant. You see, once upon a time, you have to go to the bank, and the bank, there was a computer and the bank employee used to feed. You go to the railway station, who used to initiate your ticket booking? You used to initiate with the one application, and the entry into the system was happening by the employee of the railway. But today who is initiating? Customer is only initiating. Who is authorizing? Customer only authorizing. Who is recording? ERP is recording, processing and reporting. So you have to identify when the IT is used, and there are 5 types of IT dependencies or IT requirement. Okay, dependency means your trust, I can say. 1. Automated controls. You are always dependent on the system for automated controls. This is one of the type of application control. So what is automated control? Some automations happen, automatic calculations happen. They enforce the business rules. For example, purchase order approval via workflow. That means I told yesterday, you punched the order, automatically it went to the manager. Manager approved it, it automatically went to the CFO. And from there, it automatically went to the vendor. Format checks, like date, it will ask sometime, it will ask in one particular format. So DD, MM, YY. If you write DD, MM, YY, or YY, or YY, MM, DD, it says no, this is wrong date. Existence check, like duplicate customer number. You try to put your user ID, you get one error. This user doesn't exist. Who is telling all this error? Your applications. And what are those controls? Automated controls. No human being is sitting there and monitoring it. System only telling your date is wrong, your user ID do not exist. And in ATM you go and put 1 lakh rupees. You say this amount has exceeded the limit of 20,000 rupees. See, this is called a reasonableness check. See, like this, they have given few examples of automated control, but there are more automated controls in real life. Because of this, we got confidence. That's why in Instagram, only you can log in because your user ID is recognized. Photo, it should be of 1 MB, a format check. It should be PDF format. See, it will get error. This format is wrong. So these are all called automated control, and you are heavily dependent on these controls to run your business. Then reports. System generated reports are information generated by the IT system. That means you start reading the system generated reports. These reports are often used in an entity's execution of manual controls, including business performance reviews, okay, source of entities information, performing substantive tests, whatever. Say, for example, student, you are all feeding the data, you are giving your checklist. You know what I'm doing with this? I'm feeding this to, say, my program. And my program, my software will give me one dashboard. Is this a report? Yes, it is a report. Based on this report, I can look into a performance review. I can see how the controls are operating. Or should I do some call? Should I do some test? Now, from where this report came? This report was generated by the IT system. Am I dependent on this IT? Yes, because previously this report was not there. My way of doing performance review was different. Physical manual copies I used to verify. I used to see your faces. Okay, so many things were there. Since we shifted to IT now I am heavily dependent on these reports now. I am heavily dependent on these data inputs. Now, did I not become IT dependent now? So first of all, automated controls will come into picture. That is, I am dependent on those automated controls. Second, I am dependent on so many reports now. Third, automated calculations. Like calculations are accounting procedures performed by an IT. For example, system only will calculate the depreciation based on the straight line. You don't need to do it. The system will calculate the value of the amount to be invoiced. Who did the multiplication? See, once upon a time, student, you go to a grocery shop. You see, they will prepare one bill. Sugar, 1 kg, 20 rupees, 20 rupees. Jaggery, half kg, 10 rupees, 5. Now, who did this job? A human mind this job. Today you go to Super Bazaar, you just take the quantity, price is already fixed. Who does this calculation, multiplication? A program does. Are you not dependent, students? Imagine half kg jaggery, instead of 5 rupees, if the calculation goes wrong and puts 50 rupees, gone, your processes are gone, trust is gone. So this totaling, multiplication, divisions, all these calculations are automatically done, and you are heavily dependent on these calculations. Agree with me? Then segregation of the duties, security. Okay, security including segregation of duty is enabled by the IT environment, like strict access to the information. Like whenever you log in into Instagram, Facebook, you take any app. Show me one app, students, where there is no user ID password except my app. Because right now, whenever you want to upload the data, whenever you want to do the registration or whatever you are doing in the link which I shared, it will never ask you who are you. Why? Okay, a small environment, not that much of critical. But tomorrow, if I'm really going to expand, okay, if I'm a Udemy, then first question I will ask you, who are you? Because my customer base is so huge, I need to know the identity of the customer. Here small, so I know personally. So security becomes another dependency factor, because tomorrow, who is going to access my resources? Who is going to define? IT is going to define it. Okay. Determine the separation of roles and responsibilities that could allow the employee to perpetrate, conceal error or fraud, or to process the errors that go undetected. And the last one is called interfaces. See, these are all interfaces, also called API. See, what is an API? I need to tell you, student. See, today, this is one application, which is my website. This is my application. This is my ERP, Tally. Now, how SAP and, okay, this is written in HTML language. This is written in ABAP language. Now tell me, this is like Chinese, this is like Indian. Will both of them understand their each language? No. If they don't understand their language, then how they will talk to each other? Because both are two different languages only. HTML language is different, ABAP language is different. ERP will understand only ABAP language. Website will understand only HTML language. You go and tell in ABAP language, it will not understand. So just like we have got a translator, like when you type something in English, it will go into 0 and 1 by a translator. We have got one translator, we call them API, Application Programming Interface. Application means this is two apps, application programs. They have an interface now. They can talk to each other through something called a translator. This translator is called API. Now, since you are using so many applications which is going to talk to it, so payroll, you are capturing your what is that called? Biometric device. Biometric is written in some language. How it will talk to your ERP? Yes, you have got one API for that. Your GST portal is in some language. How it will talk to ERP? You have got another API for it. So you are surrounded by API like translators. Now, are you not dependent on this API? If API malfunctions, if API stops, your process stops. So finally, we have got 5 types of application IT dependencies. Hope students see. I felt like I could have gone fast in this topic. This may look very simple, but if you are not understood, no, then this will remind you of your intermediate once upon a time. Okay, once upon a time there was some topic called ITSM. Pick randomly any one student from the intermediate. Pick on the way. If you get anybody ask intermediate, no, ask them which is the most difficult subject for you in the intermediate. Without second thought, that person would have told IT. In fact, this was the most easy subject. This was the most connecting subject. This is the subject which I started my career in 2018, 18 teaching after MLR. First job I started to teach was that IT only. Then I figured out that later it became EIS. But it was the most feared subject by the student. Why? Because terminology they didn't understood only. Then how do you understand? You have to only imagine, you have to simply by a rote learn it. But the moment you figure out understand the terminology, you say, sir, this is happening in my house. I could see in front of me. When I went to do supervisor, this is what I saw there. IT is, you are surrounded by IT. If you have understood this terminology, yeah, life becomes very simple. No, then 12th chapter will become nightmare. You say, sir, standards on auditing is better, not that IT chapter. That's why I'm spending time to explain you these words, what they mean. Then you understand it very easy. So I hope you are clear. IT dependency. See, dependency is your dependency. Now your dependency is on what? What all types of IT dependencies? Why it is important? This is the reason. What all the different types of dependencies are there? You have got control dependency, report dependency, calculation dependency, access security, and interfaces. Okay, after a long we came across the one more question, that is your test your knowledge 3. Now auditor should scope the ITGC. See the word ITGC will tell you that this is your chapter number 3, 12. To test when there are IT dependencies, then another keyword. Briefly describe the types of IT dependency. Did they tell you here heading that this is types of IT dependency? Here, see, there are 5 types. Yes, from this, but please understand, in exam, they are not going to ask you this way. That's gone. But what they are going to give, they will tell somewhere ITGC, they will tell somewhere IT dependency. So the moment you come across IT dependency, your mind should go to concept number, chapter 12, concept number 2. What is that? Identify and assess the risk. Understanding, no, this is not IT dependency, is not there, because when you talk about IT dependency, already you have understood which applications are used. Oh, that means they are using second thing called identify the risk. Okay, but the identifying generic risk, they are not talking IT dependency risk. Okay, so identifying, documenting identity of the entity reliance, okay, ITGC, etc. So this is what you need to document, ITGC, and then these are all the 5 types of tests. Okay, automated, report, calculation, security, and interface. Now, understanding of the management response to risks arising from IT dependency, okay, which we are going to see now. Before that, what was the answer? They had said there is a refer para 4. Para 4, everything is discussed. Question is to describe the types of IT dependency, but there is also another part to the question which is scoping of ITGC to test where there is ITGC. See here, they said here, if I go back to the question, they said auditors should scope in ITGC to test when there are ITGC. So in the examination, they may ask you, tell me the scope of ITGC instead of IT dependency. Both are 2 different things. For both, no, they said answer, you refer para number 4. Para number 4 will talk both. I told you. I see this particular topic talks about app control, general IT controls, or IT general controls. So what is the scope of IT general control? What is the scope of IT dependency? There are 5 IT dependencies: automated controls, calculations, reports, interface, access security. Now what is your ITGC is including? What is that general IT controls? Like you appointed that security person, you have put CCTV. These are all general controls. They're not program controls. Program means software, set of instructions. Okay, for this now we have to go further now. And you need to say understanding and responding to the risk from IT dependency. Now, this management has understood that IT dependency is going to create a problem. What if tomorrow website is down? They must have kept one person to monitor the website bandwidth. And they must have given one instruction to him. Look, Baba, if the website bandwidth crosses so much, instantly you scale it up to so much. Till that you don't do it. Because scaling may cost, but keeping this person may be costing me less. You got my point? So what is that they are trying to tell here? See, IT dependency is going to create a risk for you. Now, how do you address that IT dependency risk? You will apply general IT controls or IT general controls. Now, what are those IT controls or general IT controls? That's what we are going to talk. So primarily this topic talks about two elements: application controls, general IT controls. So when the auditor identifies IT dependency, this is risk to the organization also, auditor also, because calculation, depreciation calculation could have gone wrong there. Tomorrow, who is responsible? Management has to take that responsibility. But I trusted this organization because I went into digital audit. I didn't verify it. I thought the calculation must be correct because system calculated it. You must have seen, no students? Have you, see, when somebody gives you a manual calculation of the total, you will always total this yourself. Have you ever totaled the Super Bazaar bill? No, because you trusted it. What did you trust? Automated calculations. You never calculated. I doubt you ever calculated the total. But if the human being would have given this total, you would have calculated again and saw. You see, you trust IT more than humans. Huh? But if I ask you a question, whom do you trust more? You say a human. But in reality, you trust IT. Whatever. So when the risk is there with the IT dependency, relevant to the entity's flow of transaction, when the auditors identify the IT dependencies that are relevant to the entity's flow of transaction, because those IT dependencies are going to affect your transaction, they need to understand how management is going to respond to the associated risks. So management can respond only by one way, that is by setting up IT general controls. Okay. After reading this, we can go through this empty piece. So what are those general IT controls an organization will set up? Okay. After this, we will go through these three questions. Already part of the question we have seen in test your knowledge. See, they are very smart enough to bring this word also called scope in ITGC test. IT dependency. IT dependency means app controls. Scope of ITGC means general IT controls. So anything they can ask me in the exam. Let us see what is your IT general controls are included. One, access security objective. In order to ensure access to the programs and to the data is authenticated and authorized to meet the financial reporting objective. So what is that general principles or controls related to access? First, access request should be properly reviewed and authorized by the management. Now, handling that access request is here. How system will access it once you configure a biometric device? Once, see, it goes like this. Please understand this example. Otherwise, you get confused here. So, you say, sir, access security we discussed there. Again, we are discussing here. No. Both are two different concepts. This is my door. This door has got a biometric device. Now, what is the job of this biometric device? This biometric device is connected to a server or a computer where registration happens. Master data is there. Now, if you are already registered, they will entry. They say, okay. So whenever you press your thumb, it will go back to the master data and check, is this data available in my master? The either answer will be yes or answer will be no. If the answer is yes, the door will open. If the answer is no, you will get an error message that you are an unauthorized person. So this is a program dependency. Because somebody has written a program there, a logic, if master data match, allow, else if, in their language, this is called a programming language, else if, revert as a print error, so and so. So if somebody has written this language, this is called app control, application control of access security. Are you clear? Perfect. Now question comes, who should be registered? Will application, this engineer will tell you who should be registered, who should be given access to this. Your programs will never decide it. Program's job is you are registered to allow, not registered to give error. But who should be registered? Who should review who has been registered? Maybe somebody might have registered without anybody's knowledge. So review should happen. That's what we are going to discuss here in general. They are called general controls. Like reviewing, periodic reviewing of the access by the management. So if any employee has been terminated, his access has to be removed. Otherwise he will access again. A terminated employee. Access rights to the applications are periodically monitored. That means people may shift their job. Till yesterday, you are database administrator. Today, you have become, say, information security administrator. The moment you become information security administrator, your database administrator role has to be removed. So this monitoring of the system job is called your access security generality control. They are general. They means they are not software. They are people related work. Always I say they are people related. You will see humans there. You will have a block, you will have a door, you will have a control, you will have a CCTV. Transactions of administrative and sensitive generic IDs are monitored. Generic ID means one ID will give for different types of work. Because I'll tell you students, for your information, see, if you want to get one Microsoft license, say Power BI is one of the software. Power BI is one of the app. If the organization is using, for one user ID, it has to spend $20 per month. That means $20. Okay, let me assume 100,000 rupees. Say 100 rupees per dollar. Let me assume, because we are already very close. That means 2,000 rupees per month into 12, 24,000 rupees per annum a company has to spend on giving access to you. For what? Only Power BI. SAP, you know the access cost? Maybe somewhere around 2 lakh rupees or 50,000 rupees per annum. Power BI itself is demanding 24,000 rupees. Why SAP will not demand 50,000 rupees per user? That's why we have got concept of enterprise license. Enterprise license, what happened? No, I will pay one lump sum 5 crore rupees, and I can create any number of IDs. Otherwise, I should give per ID wise. Now you see, for Microsoft license 24,000, for SAP license 50,000. 1 lakh rupees I am spending per annum on simply accesses IT. Is it not my CTC now? Cost to company. It is not coming in your hand, but I have to pay for you. That's why what I may end up doing, no, I will create generic ID. What is generic ID? Okay, instead of creating user wise, I will see what is that Power BI will do, give report. No, instead of user wise, I will give one ID and say give the passport to 10 people. Now risk will come. Now since I don't have a user specific, now assigning responsibility is going to become very difficult here because we have used a generic ID. So now you have to administer now who is accessing that general ID, generic ID. Security policies and procedures are maintained and access to operating system is very much restricted, and database. Very important because somebody can access your operating system, they can access every apps. So it should be restricted. So I hope students, this is very clear to you. And if you see everything, none of the items speaks about the program. What is program's job? A program's job is to get input, check the master data and process, and give you the output. Output will be either okay or it is not okay. That is what a program will do. But if entire system has to work properly, because garbage in, garbage out. So how do you monitor this input? Who can enter? Is it entered through a generic ID? Do you have a policies? Okay. Is there a privileged access person? What they are doing? So this is called access security objective. Now program change objective. What is the program change? Okay, Baba. I can give you same example here. Now you went to the ATM. You put this ATM card and you got a message, no balance. You know why no balance? Because your ATM machine spoke to core banking solution. Now you have got one friend who is sitting in the IT department of this SBI bank. Once upon a time, when he was about to flow in the river, you hold his hand and you saved his life. And that day he gave one vachan to you. Ask any boon. You saved my life. Then, like this, who is that Dasharatha's wife, Kaikeyi, she said, I don't want right now. Whenever time comes, I will ask. And the time has come right now. You don't have a cash in your account. All your friends are waiting outside for the party. You want 10,000 immediately. Okay. So since this guy is an IT person, you all learned now. Before that, you didn't know what is IT application, what is IT dependency. Today, after I taught you everything you understood. Oh, ho, ho. So who is stopping me? A program. So immediately you call him and say, you remember that day I saved your life? Yes. Do one thing. Go to that program which is monitoring this ATM access, okay, transaction. And there is one line. The line says, if insufficient balance, do not dispose cash. Tell him, delete this line. The moment he deletes this line, your ATM will dispense any amount of cash. Possible? The moment you, Are Baba, is bank full there? That's what I'm telling now. Now they have put some control called program change controls. Nobody can touch this production system. So what is that production system program change control? That is what they are talking about, program change objective. So it goes like this. If this person has to change a program, he cannot, this is called a production system, live system. First he has to make a change in the development system. For this, no, there should be something called a request, user request. So once the user has given a request, you have to go to the HOD and user has to, this is the user has to get approval from their HOD. Sir, this is the change I want in my system. This tax I want to calculate like this, and HOD has to approve. Then only IT department will entertain it. And IT department's HOD also should permit for this. That means you see two levels of maker and checker. Then he starts doing the development. This development he will move to a server called quality. In QA, quality server, there is the live data from the production system. Development has come from here. Testing is going to happen. There are three types of tests is going to happen. One, user interface, user acceptance test, integration test, unit test. Unit test means whatever test changes asked, is it that working fine? That is called a unit test. Second is called integration test. That means when you have made this change, is it going to affect other applications? Like website, something has got changed. Okay, in the mobile application, something got changed because of this change. That is called integration test. After these two tests are done, this is done by a core team member of the IT department like me. Then we will call this user and say, okay, Baba, see, this is what you asked now. Please check whether it is okay, fine or not. It's called user acceptance test. Once he says okay, my program will go for a quality review. Quality review means somebody will see, is there any logic bomb? Is there any Trojan horse? If nothing is there, then I will go to my IT head and ask for the approval. And after that approval, it is moved to production system. Now you tell me, students, if you call your friend and say, please delete that line, you doesn't know what is happening in the background, but so many big processes there to do. See, please understand, controls don't stop things. None of the controls will give you absolute assurance because controls never stop. They will only delay. When Rakshasas came, did tapasya, Brahmadeva, Ishwar, Vishnu, so many different God came. First question, what did they ask? Make me immortal. Did any God agree for it? They said impossible. That means none of the controls can give you absolute assurance in life, students. Please understand it. Life is inherently fragile. Any damn thing you do on the earth, nobody is going to guarantee you. But then why we are trying to do? We know that we can die at any point of time, but still while we are crossing the road, why we see look this side, that side? Because when we put a control, we are not avoiding it, we are only delaying it. When the Rakshasas were told immortality is impossible, they tried to create a situation that this should happen, Hari and Hara should have one kid. Okay, like impossible things they started to tell. Followed, no? Why? They were delaying it. They were trying, like Hiranyakashipu told, no human, no animal, not morning, not evening. Like, see, that permutation combination seems to be very impossible. Then God proved every time that final destination is going to happen. Moving, you see, no? The final destination has to happen, it will happen anyhow. Nobody can prevent it. So internal control, see, why we are putting so many things? Are we making risk zero? No, impossible. But we will delay it. Now friend will explain you, no Baba, the deleting that line is not so easy. Because they have put change program controls. See, program change controls. So what is this controls to ensure that you meet the financial reporting objective? That means you have got change management policy, HOD approval, your IT department approval, request, okay, and then moving into the production, UAT test. That means policy should be there. Development, testing, production environment are segregated. That means there should be 3 servers. In Tally, what happened? No, everything you go in the live server only. You don't have a concept of 3 servers. If tomorrow you want to change any configuration, directly go to the gateway of Tally and do the changes. Agree with me? But in SAP, it doesn't work like that. Huh? You have got development server, quality server, and production server. That's why these 3 things are called development, testing, and production environments are segregated for changes to application configuration. That means whenever you change the configuration, you directly don't move to the production. You first move to the development, do the test, and then you do it. They are tracked. That is why there is something called a change request form, which is signatures of the people, because you can track exactly who did the change, when it changed, who approved it. Changes to the application configurations are adequately tested and approved before it moved. Emergency changes. Now I can bring one concept of emergency. Right now it has to happen, otherwise hacker will kill us. No, there should be one process for the emergency changes also. CEO should approve now for such cases. If you want to bypass all these things, then CEO should approve. And segregation of duties mentioned between developer and implementer. That's why we had, when I sold, this basis guy was different, developer was different, tester was different, user was different. None of them was single person. They are called a general IT control. Then you have got a data center and a network application. See, students, mark it very important. They are given in the form of a picture here. Now, what is data center network operations? Hello, Baba. What I can do? I know. See, I will do one master plan. Now, I don't have a bank balance. Follow? Now, I know the entire system, how it works. Now, what this organization is doing, this is their core banking solution. They are taking the backup of this core banking solution in somewhere, in remote backup they are keeping. Now you tell me, students, who generally your focus is on the main application or the backup? Backup you keep somewhere. Okay, Baba, in case one day if I require, then I may require it. Followed, no? No, let us apply in our personal life only, no, student. How much do you have a backup of the mobile numbers taken? Probably no, because you are heavily dependent. Chalo, even though you would have taken one backup, tomorrow if my phone is lost or getting corrupted, okay, at least these important numbers, so you would have kept somewhere written, IDs or mobile number, something you must have written. Now, one hacker or one person will think like this. See, I don't have any money in my balance. So what I will do, backup, nobody is focusing. So why don't let me not go to the backup? Change the backup only. Like put some dummy transactions in the backup. And come here, destroy this main server only. See, I know now what's going to happen. The day main server is getting destroyed, the main server is getting hacked. Okay, it gets encrypted. People will shift for the backup now. They will bring their backup. But in the backup, I have already made the setup there. What? My bank balance is 2 crore rupees. Now I withdraw now. Because programs will never stop me. Because program will always look, is there a balance or not? Balance is there. Now, where is its second leg? That is different story. That's why, students, you need to have proper control over that data center. Where data is getting stored, what type of network operations are happening, do you have a proper data backup and recovery policies? Is it appropriate backup is done? Restoration, are you doing it properly? Are you verifying it? See, otherwise these things could have happened. We generally don't think, but in IT, see how I came to know, because I spent my 5 years in IT. Because of that, I came to know what is happening in the IT department. So monitoring and compliance of service level agreement. Service level agreement means You may have this, suppose your data is maintained by one, say, Tally Prime. Since they will charge you money for maintaining of this data, or say Accenture database, you see, custody of the data. Now, when the server is down or there is a problem, they have to solve your problem. They are called a service level agreement. Means, depending upon priority, we will define. If it's the priority one issue, that means your business only got stopped now, trucks are lining up. Within 2 hours, I have to solve this problem. If not, whatever maintenance fees AMC you are paying, AMC, you cut 20% off of it. If it is priority 2 issue, that means your trucks have not stopped, business not stopped, but there is a very critical issue. You have to give me 8 hours to solve this problem. If it is priority 3, you have to give me 24 hours to solve this problem. If I don't solve this problem within so and so, you have to cut my salary or AMC by 50%, 20%, 30%. This agreement is called service level agreement. Now, this brings seriousness on the application providers like SAP. And then why simply you pay 5 crore rupees? You don't pay, no. You will say, give me that service level agreement. And you have to monitor, do you have such agreement? And batch jobs are monitored for failures. Batch job means what? Batch. Batch means number. So instead of posting one by one transaction, I will prepare one Excel template. And 8,000 transactions I will upload into the system. That's called a batch job scheduling. Can you imagine how much time I will save? By 8,000 transactions, like I have to create the user IDs. Instead of creating one by one user ID by typing your name and all, I will prepare one Excel template and I will upload this Excel template immediately. 8,000 people are created. And what if I raise it 2 times? It will 8,000 duplicates are going to happen now. That's why this batch job has to be monitored for failure and access. Very good. Huh? Feels good to complete this. I hope you are very clear, students, because it is the most tricky part. Huh? So IT dependency may affect the design of the controls and how they are implemented. Therefore, auditors should consider IT dependencies relevant to audit and should scope IT GCs to test whether those IT dependencies are working properly or not. Understand the language here. You can write in your own language. So what auditor should do? First, you see which app is used. In your mobile, which app is used? That's the first thing I should see, because who brings risk? App brings risk. But app can protect you from that risk. So who is going to do that? General IT controls are going to do it. So auditor should scope in ITGC and identify IT dependency and verify both the controls. If the controls around the IT environment are not implemented or they are not operating effectively, it will result not relying on the IT controls, which means IT dependency also cannot be relied. See, students, if you have got one unique key to open your car, I can trust, okay, that means your car will not be stolen. Insurance company is ready to take the insurance. But if you are careless, you keep your keys there and only, in the car only you go and keep. Should insurance company give one car policy, insurance policy to you? No, because the chances of the car getting stolen is very high because you are not careful. Similarly, if the controls are not implemented in the organization, you cannot trust the general IT controls and you cannot test the IT dependency controls also. Now, keeping this in mind, let us go back and check this RTP and MTP question. Okay, so since they use the word scope ITGC, IT dependency, and here they said, okay, define the type, but the word scope is also used. So you may have to talk about access security objective, program change objective, data center objective, because answer was not given in the suggested answer. Then there is one MTP question. IT dependency, see the keyword, understand, arise because system generated reports and interfaces. But in reality, how many are there? 5. How many they told you? 2, reports and interface. How do such dependencies arise? Why it is important to identify the dependencies to develop an active and efficient approach? Why it is important? You know already, 5 points were there. How do such IT dependency? Which one you should talk now? You need to talk only about reports and interface. Huh? No, nothing else. Please understand. They are specifically asking you reports and interface. Don't get confused. Don't talk about again. You don't tell about automated calculations and your what is it called? Automation. Okay. Don't talk about other dependencies here. Automated controls. Okay. Say security. They are talking only two things. So you need to talk this, and you need to talk about. Now, while planning the audit of a company that heavily relies on automated processes. So this sentence should tell that this is chapter number 12. Auditor notices several key financial reports for decision making are system generated. Data is transferred across multiple IT applications and automated interfaces are being used. See, another way they can ask you in the examination, same test your knowledge question. Report, interfaces, automated processes. So you understand chapter 12. Is it they are talking about digital audit? No. Emerging technology? No. And identify and assess the risk. Understanding? No. Identify the risk? Yes. Where? IT dependency. Because reports, interfaces, you came there. Given the scenario, how? See, perfectly understood. IT dependency is the keyword. Means application controls arising from the system generated reports and interfaces. Why it is important? In order to do this, okay, in order to, because same question they have asked in another way. So you talk about system generated controls, you talk about interfaces. Why it is important? So you tell the answer there. In this manner, identifying will help to identify the reliance on IT, how it's integrated, potential risk, IT. See, whatever those were para, no, actually they are points. So I hope you are clear about this test your knowledge question. We will mark it priority important. Okay, RTP questions we will see now. RTP Jan 26. Okay, this is your MTP March 24. MTP March, this is done. Now we'll see the RTP question. Now during the audit of Long Limited, auditor came across following instance. Finance team relies on system generated custom aging report while overdue balances. Relies, dependency. Payroll module is designed in such a way that the person entering the employee attendance cannot approve the salary disbursement, therefore ensuring the segregation of duty. This is more like general IT control. This is not an application control. The purchase order system, okay, or access security, we can say. You don't have access to the salary processing it. The purchase order system does not allow processing of duplicate vendor codes, automated controls, where GST number is already present. The ERP system automatically calculates the depreciation on the fixed assets. Now identify the type of IT dependency. IT dependency is the keyword. Just to tell you that first one is the report, second is the security, third is the controls, and fourth is the calculation. And they may ask you to explain. So same question they can give you in this form, or they can create one case for these two only. I don't know. But once you are very thorough with the concepts, like how the concepts work, you are free. You are fantastic. Done. Next element is about your cyber risk. So we will spend time. Okay, don't feel students I am a bit slow. See, already we have covered 50% of the syllabus. And you saw, no, some chapters in 2 to 3 hours we finished in between because they were small. But this is big. Okay, your bank audit is big. We will spend time there. We will try to understand. Okay, so before we move on to cyber security, okay, just we'll have one small map. So second element, okay, just we'll end up with creating a small mind map. So we are talking about understanding. So we'll make one rough map. Understand, identify, and assess risk. Okay, understand, I think we have done yesterday. Okay, we have to talk about the identifying the risk. When say identify, which risk? It is the application risk. So we are speaking about the applications. Types of risk, not application risk. Huh? What all the types of risk we have? We have got unauthorized access, privileged access. We have got failure to update the data. Okay, we can write something one or two. System failure, system downtime, unauthorized this data loss. These are all the different types of risk which can arise. Regulatory issues, because your customer information has been leaked now. Imagine a hospital and the patient's information has been leaked, and tomorrow if one high net worth person, if it is told that what type of disease he is having, will that person leave this hospital? No. So you have to face the regulatory issues. All this happens because of the digital data. Now there are two types of risk called controls, called IT dependency, which is nothing but the application dependency. So there are two elements you need to discuss. Why it is important? One, to identify the risk. What are the types of such dependency? Yes, we have got a report, automated controls, report, security, calculations, interface. Yes, so we have got 5 types of application. So what does an application will do? It will do automatic controls, reports it will do, security it will access security, automated calculations, interfaces. These are all application dependency. So application dependency can work well only if you have got GITC or ITGC. So what all the ITGCs we have got? We have got 3 types of ITGC. One, we can call it as a access security. But this is like from the people point of view, like not giving, reviewing, overseeing. Then program change, because somebody should not change the program. And third, we have got data center. In real life, there is one more thing called a system acquisition. They have not discussed it, leave it. But if tomorrow after you qualify, if you go and join Big Four, and in Big Four, they will put you under IT control testing. Okay? You are going to come across this concept, because that is a specialization. These auditors will give assurance to the general auditors who have gone there. So there are 2 teams in Big Fours. One team will work on IT controls. So they will learn all these access security control, interface controls. You are going to learn all these things. Another is the auditor who is doing the balance sheet audits, P&L audit. Now, when they are going to planning to do test of control, the another wing of the Big Four will give them assurance that, okay, Baba, general IT controls are good. So what they cover in general IT control? 4 areas: access security, program change, data center. One more thing they are not told in the study material, that's called a system acquisition. Because system acquisition is only one-time job. Application part, automatic controls, report, security, calculation, interface. Okay, this is what we can do. I hope students you are perfectly understood. So took time, but I hope you are very clear about what you are doing, what you have read, what we discussed. Yes, so we will continue in the next class.